Good morning, students. This is the seventh video class, and we are trying to understand chapter 2, Money in Banking, which is from Unit 2, Introductory Macroeconomics. Now we will try to understand money. Firstly, we will understand its definition. Money is anything usable for undertaking transactions, that is receipts and payments. This is very simple, we all know that. We use it for transaction, that is for exchange. In the second point, you can see that it is acceptable as a means of exchange. Exchange means buying and selling, receiving and for receipts and making payments, and at the same time acts as a measure of value of goods. We all measure the goods in the terms of money and a store of value, and we can store money also. So again, give it a look to the definition of money. Money is anything usable for undertaking transactions, that is receipts and payments. And now the new term is supply of money. Supply of money refers to stock of money in an economy. It means the quantity of money in the economy. So its components are stock of money available in the economy in the form of currency held by the public and demand deposits in commercial banks. So currency held by the public means the currency is created by RBI. You all know that issue of currency function of RBI and is called high powered money. And demand deposits are created by commercial banks. This we will understand in detail, the credit creation process, and are called bank money. So now you have to understand that firstly the concept of supply of money. Supply of money refers to stock of money. It doesn't mean that supply of money, it means stock of money, the quantity of money available in an economy at the particular point of time, that is stock. So the quantity of money or stock of money available in the economy at particular point of time, we can understand that it can be in the form of currency held by the public and in the form of demand deposits in commercial banks. This you need to understand that. Now we will understand the credit creation process by commercial banks. So far you are aware of the fact that RBI can issue currency, commercial banks cannot issue currency. But this is a new concept, means the money creation, the credit creation by commercial banks. So look at the slide. Functions of commercial banking system, which are the basis of money creation. How then they create money? First point, commercial banks receive deposits from the public. This you all know, this is very simple. We deposit our funds in the commercial banks, and the depositors are free to withdraw their deposit amounts by writing checks. This also you know, depositors can withdraw. And the third point, which you also know, that the banks use this money in these deposits to give loans. And then how they give loans? And this process, this entire process, we call it credit creation process. The other name is money creation process, or we can say deposit creation process. So now we'll try to understand the money creation by a commercial bank is determined by the two major we can say factors. Firstly, the amount of initial deposits by the public, and the second one is legal reserve ratio. This you have heard for the very first time, LRR. You are aware of CRR and SLR. So LRR consists of both parts, CRR plus SLR. So then what exactly is LRR, legal reserve ratio? It is legally compulsory for the banks to keep a minimum certain percentage of these deposits as cash. You know that now, that in CRR we have understood that these reserves, the fraction of CRR, the reserves in the form of cash, which are kept with central bank, and SLR is kept with commercial banks themselves. So the summary of this entire concept LRR is that they cannot use it for credit creation process. Now I think the point is clear. There are we will understand with the help of example also. Firstly, understand initial deposit. The important term is initial deposit. Second important term is LRR. They both are required for credit creation process by the commercial banks. For initial deposits, we'll understand what exactly is initial deposit by public. LRR, you know that there are, it is legally compulsory for the banks to keep a minimum certain percentage of these deposits as cash, and the fraction is called LRR. Fraction means that part is called LRR, the reserve, which cannot be used in the credit creation process, and that part consists of two concepts, CRR and SLR. CRR is kept with the central bank and SLR is kept with commercial bank themselves. This, I think the point is clear now. Now we'll try to understand the credit creation process by commercial banks. Let's assume that initial deposits be rupees 100 deposited by the public, and now the LRR is 20%, and that is rupees 20 as cash reserve, which cannot be used in the credit creation process. So what they can then lend, the banks are free to lend remaining rupees 80. They cannot use, as a legal requirement, they cannot use rupees 20. They can lend the remaining, that is rupees 80. Then we'll understand how exactly this process works. Banks open deposit accounts in the name of the borrowers, who are free to withdraw whenever they like. They can withdraw this rupees 80. Suppose they withdraw the whole amount for making payment. Suppose the whole amount of rupees 80 is withdrawn by the borrowers. Then what exactly happens? So since all the transactions are routed through banks, the money spent by the borrowers comes back into the banks, into the deposit account of those who have received the payment. This we can understand that by this process. We'll understand this example. So the deposit creation process comes to an end when total cash reserves become equal to initial deposits. Let's assume the initial deposit is rupees 80. We have assumed that rupees 100, sorry, and the cash reserves. Now we will try to understand this example. Initially, we assumed that the initial deposit is rupees 100 and loan amount is rupees 80, because as a legal requirement, the banks, they have to keep rupees 20, that is 20% LRR. Now these loans, this we can understand. Suppose they withdraw whole of the amount, rupees 80 is withdrawn. Since all the transactions are routed through banks, the money spent by the borrowers comes back into the banks, into the deposit account of those who have received the payment. In the round one, again rupees 80 comes to the banking system, because the borrowers, for making the payments, and they paid the amount, and actually they can withdraw with the help of check only, and they can give the check only to the person to whom they have to make the payment, and actually again that check, that cash is not withdrawn. Every time that check is used for the use of withdrawing. So this amount is again with the commercial bank, rupees 80. And again, as a legal requirement, 20% of rupees 80, that is rupees 16, they have to keep as cash reserve, and they can give loan of rupees 64, and again this 64 comes back to the banking system, and this will continue till the cash reserves are equal to initial deposit. The last point you can see, the deposit creation comes to an end when total cash reserves becomes equal to initial deposits. You can give it a look to this particular example. Then we'll try to understand in our next slide. So far we have understood the credit creation process. There are two important elements: initial deposits and LRR. And this is the table which we have to. This is the example, numerical example, how credit creation process, we can say the commercial banks create credit. We'll continue this from this particular example in our next video. Thank you.